Paola Tullian Zen here on Fire Breathing Rob. She is running for governor of Arizona. The election is August 2nd. So if you're in Arizona, if you're near Arizona, you want to volunteer, definitely get out there. She's a great get. And we've talked for a little bit before the interview started, and she's amazing so far. So Paola, thanks so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it and look forward to discussing the issues that really affect Arizonians.
Yes.
All right, so let's kick this around and talk about this. Now, you're originally from Chicago, and unfortunately, when I think of Chicago, we think of the shootings, the crime, Obama, Rahm Emanuel, and the Daily Machine in general. Did you have any kind of influence growing up, and as a person being a businesswoman? Do you feel like the influence of the Daily Machine affects you as a person from Chicago and being raised as a Catholic such as myself too?
Well, originally I came from Italy when I was 7 with my family, and we moved on May Street and Ogden Avenue, and that was very Italian neighborhood.
Right.
Yes, I remember Mayor Daley. I believe one thing that Mayor Daley was, he was a stern leader.
Right.
The city was clean. We didn't have all that crime. I mean, they can say a lot of negative things about him. Of course, he was a Democrat. He wasn't a Republican. Illinois has been Democrat forever. But
it was a different kind of Democrat compared to now.
It was. And you know what? He took care of the city. You can walk down any street. It was clean. We didn't have the violence that they have today. And today, the person they have, even as mayor, is really offensive to her own culture. Really, she's not protecting them. The city's gone crazy. Everybody's in the suburbs, and the ones in the suburbs that are even Democrats says, "Well, we don't live there." Hey, you don't live there, but it's like, I don't care. It's not affecting me. And that's what happens. A lot of people will just pull away and say, yeah, I'm a Democrat. Why are they Democrats? What is it in their birth certificate? But the one thing I want to say, first of all, whether you're Democrat or Republican, we all want the same thing. We want success in our life. We want to be able to run our businesses. We want to have our family healthy. We want to provide for them. There's the same things we want. Yet we're disagreeing as a country. We're so divided. And I look at it, and sometimes I went to events and I said, you know what? I'm more upset with the Conservative Party, the Republican Party, because we counted on them. We counted on them to do right by us, and they have not. They've not protected our country, our state. Again, it's self-serving. They go into politics to win. To win what? An opportunity, money? You know what? Business people that have succeeded, have made their money, they should go serve. That's what I did. I sold my business, La Dolce Vita Biscotti Company, very successful. I made more money than I thought I would. And I have the ability to serve. I have the business background. I've succeeded everything in my life. And that's the kind of people you need. No, what we get are people that want the accolades, want to get on that pedestal. And what happens? They become our dictators. They're better than us. No, I'm an average middle-class American that had a desire to succeed, and I did. We came from a poor family. Chicago was poor, and we overcame a lot. So if someone says, oh, you're an elitist, I'm not an elitist. I am a middle-class American that has risen and succeeded, and I worked hard all my life. So that's what it is. And you got to get people like that. You got to get business people that are saying, I want to serve. I want to bring business acumen to the government, because that's what we need. You have to have a financial ability, systems ability, organization, and you have to be a leader. That's what I believe.
So we've heard a lot about, and you're running for governor of Arizona. Obviously, the election is August 2nd. Again, if you're in the neck of the woods, definitely check. what's going on there and try to get involved. If you're in Arizona, definitely get involved and vote on August 2nd if you're voting in the primaries. And we hope that everybody votes, Democrat or Republican, go out and vote. It is your lawful duty as an American. So let's get into this. So, you're living in Arizona now, you're running. And, when I think of Arizona, I think of John McCain. Now, whether you like him or not, that's kind of the staple of Arizona politics. It is McCain country. Can you talk about the legacy of John McCain? Do you feel like it still overshadows Arizona politics, even though he's been dead since 2019?
I think, for example, one candidate, obviously, still the McCain are supporting that candidate. And that's he's still somewhat involved. Family is. And it's almost like an ego. I've got to have the last word. Because McCain aligned himself with Obama. He aligned with a lot of policies that Obama wanted. And, Arizona doesn't want that, didn't want that. So again, today people are saying, well, if you're from McCain, we're not for you. Okay, so there are sides. And you could say it's McCain country, but not so much today. I think the family's trying to rekindle or endorse someone that aligns themselves with him, but the people are not for McCain or wanting to go. We don't need a blast from the past, bringing all these old politicians back. We didn't like what they did for us, yet we want to bring them back. It's a new day in Arizona. That's what I say. New day. We're going to change our culture, or rather our way of running our politics. We've got to look at a different way.
Paola, what would you say to the people that, say it is still McCain country just because Joe Biden won the election there and he's somewhat of like a McCain Democrat or McCain, depending on what side.
It's not even McCain. Ducey aligned himself with McCain.
Yeah.
Ducey aligned himself with Biden. We have it today. What is it? There's things that even Ducey should have done much, much sooner. When did he stop the mandates on the mask? A few months ago. He didn't do anything. Our businesses are shut down. We don't have healthcare providers. They're quitting. All the services in our state, because it was required, so many were quitting. So once you're backed up in the corner, is that when you make a decision? You've got to have the vision, the foresight to see what can happen when you don't make a decision also, as well as make a decision.
So, that goes kind of right to the election issues of 2020. And obviously, Ducey is not a fan of President Trump. President Trump is not a fan of Ducey. Obviously, they called Arizona very early in the election process of 2020. And then some networks took it back, but most of them stayed with that call of Joe Biden winning Arizona. As a person that's living in Arizona, as a person that's running for governor of Arizona, what is your opinion on that issue? Was it called too early? Was there election fraud? Was there not? What's going on there?
Well, I think there was really mismanagement of the whole election, as it was in 2016. 2016, we didn't come in till 10 days later. This time, we don't come in till 3 days later. We're never making a deadline. What the heck is that? You know what? We got a problem. Our Secretary of State, who runs this now, is running for governor. She's the Democrat candidate. You know what? You fail and you still go for a higher office. You failed, as far as I'm concerned. Don't run anymore. Okay? And calling it, no, they should not have called it. And what happened after 3 days later? Biden got more. He got a whole thousands of more votes. What were they doing? So that's where the question comes in. Was there fraud? We didn't run it properly. And another thing, remember Ducey, when he puts the phone down and president is calling, still president. What a disrespect to our country, our White House, that position as a president. I don't care if you don't like him. You have a responsibility to the people. That's what I see. And here is our leader showing a disregard. What does it do to our kids? I'm sure kids and families have seen this. You're an example to the state, to the country. You take this position, you have a position of honor. And,
So,
I don't know, was it stolen? Hey, we have, look, we spend all this money on the audit. Nothing definitive came out. Oh, yes. And then we have the 2,000 mules. There's a lot of votes that they said, were fraudulent. Okay, why weren't we fighting for that? It takes the attorney general and the governor to have stopped this in the very beginning. If you had this many Arizonans unhappy with the results and questioning how it was run, you know what? The audit should have been done immediately. It could have been done in 2 months. It was just a mess, all right? That's the problem. We don't have leadership. Real leadership takes a grip of it and say, this is what we're going to do. I want this audit done in 2 months. And, this is how it's going to be systemized. You look at how our audit was done. It was clumsy. It was awkward. It took so much time. And what? We got zero out of it. We spend millions again. And you keep people on hold. And the media is just having a good time with it.
right. Yeah, they were making it like a joke. And obviously Governor Pence came down. Well, he was governor, but Vice President Pence. So, came down and endorsed one of your opponents. And obviously Kerry Lake was endorsed by President Trump. Some people would say if those two people are coming in, Ducey endorsed the same person. We won't say names, even though,
Yeah, we know.
we know who they are. So Ducey.
Are we looking for change, real change? Or are we bringing the past? What are they going to do? Help run the state? What favors are attached with this? That's what
those people are puppets to Pence and Ducey, or unfortunately,
they
puppets.
Endorse back and forth. If he's running, they're going to have endorsement from this governor, just back and forth. The only endorsement that's important are the people. People
Correct.
have to really dig in, analyze, and see what they're getting, because people are saying, oh, we don't want the same. But you know what? Don't choose the same. Start looking ahead. Look at what is good for our state. And a candidate like myself that has the ability and knows how to work, because people say, oh, why do you want to be governor? I have to apologize. I have to apologize for volunteering. I have to apologize to give my own money for the campaign. You know what? I'm not licking anybody's boots. Okay. No politicians. They don't like me. Kelly Ward absolutely didn't want me. And Maricopa, she kept me out. But people are reaching out. And you know what? I hope to God, if he leads me there, we have an upset, because that's what's needed in this country. We've got to show the American people that the American people have a voice, and it's possible to choose who they want, we want. No more politicians telling us, McCain's, Ducey, even Trump. I like Trump. I think he did a lot of great things for our company. We felt safe with him. But you know what? How could he? You know what he wanted? He wanted someone to bash the media, because it was all about bashing the media. He bought himself a front person for election fraud. That's it. Yeah. So you've got, what we should have done? There should have been, if she wanted to fight, she should have fought for pre-election, this new election. How do we preserve and make it a good election, right? That's what should have been done. We can't go back. If I'm governor, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Who's accountable will be prosecuted. But you know what? We've got to move forward, because we've got a heck of a lot of stuff to do today. We've got inflation coming in. We've got a mess in our education. We have the homeless. We have the border. We have a lot to do.
So let's talk about some of these issues and get into the campaign. So, one of the issues, as far as reading your website, I think is near and dear to you is, getting rid of the property tax for seniors and also the income tax. The question goes to me, as far as this goes, is I think that's great. But the question is, who is going to pay for all this infrastructure as far as schools, roads, bridges, all these other issues, if these people that are very well-off seniors aren't paying into the system?
Well, I think for example, I don't expect for my real estate to be, how would you say, abolished or whatever. I'm going to pay. But I think there's a lot of seniors that even their Social Security check are not enough for them. And we have to look at helping those people, okay? And as far as infrastructure, They just did a budget. There's still pork in that budget because the more money you take in, the more they're going to spend. And I had an interview with Arizona Republic. She called me, can you answer one more question? And so I said, what is it? Because I wrote what I believed should be allocated as money. And she says, are you telling me that in 2024, there's an automatic increase in education? Probably 2 billion, I don't know what it is, I forgot. And I said, unless there's an audit in education, I'm not going to fund that. I'll tell you why. And hopefully if I'm governor, there will have been an audit before that. But I'll tell you why. You have a business and it's failing. We've got 70, 80% failure rate in a lot of our schools. That's why we're number 47 or 49, and I don't know what you are. But you know what?
Really close to
you're close. You're our buddy. Okay. You know what? Would I give a business, would I borrow more money and give a business more money to pay the salaries of my managers when they have failed? They're not producing product that I could sell that's worth nothing. Well, that's my managers at the schools, district managers, principals, the people that are getting those salaries at a higher level. You know what? No funding until we have an audit, and we're going to see where the money's going.
Right, but wouldn't that just hurt the kids and the teachers?
No, because the money is not reaching our children. It's not going to the teachers. When we have teachers at 45,000, let's pay them 60,000.
Right, I agree.
Recruit great teachers, but make them accountable for the win. And we have to tutor preschool. I see a whole new system. There's got to be a new system because this just didn't happen 10 years.
But Paula, how are you going to deal with the unions though? Because the unions do have a stronghold on the teachers. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll enjoy 60 grand as far as getting these teachers there. But as far as the accountability goes, that's extremely hard to deal with the unions.
You got to create managers. Principals are managers. They got to be accountable. They got to be accountable for their school and the success. And I hopefully the superintendent, if I'm governor, is a great superintendent and we work together. Okay, legislators too. I'm a very good negotiator. We're going to win them over, not win them over. We're going to work together to make this right because the numbers tell us the truth. Are we going to stay at 47, 48? We've got to do something. We've got a failing business here.
Yeah.
They've got to do something. We cannot accept what's happening. What exists today. We will not accept it. And you know what? I don't bend. I push. Education's critical because that's our society. That's our future. And
well, Paul, I agree with you because sorry to interrupt, but I just want to interject because you're 100% right. If you pay these teachers more and you'll get better people. You know, if I'm making 45 grand a year, and I can go to Wall Street and get a degree like, you know, that helps as far as business and go work on Wall Street. Why the hell would I go into teaching? Hell no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go and make more money.
No, you're not. That's right. There's got to be incentives. There's got to be bonuses.
Right.
We treat it like a business. And I'm telling you, we could succeed. And then also, you change the curriculum. You change the tutoring. You know, we have a big population. I don't know how Florida is, but we have a big Hispanic population, like 30-some%. Okay, these kids, 8th grade, some of them still do not have proper use of the command of the English language. They may not know basic math still, okay? What do we do? I believe that's what the nuns, when I came from Italy, they tutored me. Had they not tutored me in first and second, I would have not won in other areas because English gives you the confidence to go ahead and understand everything else, your civics, everything, okay? You're failing these kids, but we are doing it, okay?
Yeah.
And one superintendent said to me, well, I don't know if there's a budget for tutoring. Hey, you know what? You pay the teachers more. They stay 45 minutes with the kids that need the help. And not only that, get them smart tablets, little tablets that are fun tablets. They can take home, they can learn. Do something. We've got to figure it out and monitor it. Because I believe
but the question is, just to interrupt, the question is what's going to happen? Because if you're going to keep paying these teachers more, then the taxes are going to go up. Then they're going to run ads against you saying you want to raise taxes.
No, first of all, we're misappropriating money. It's like throwing money in a business. Okay? I'm paying all my managers, and those managers have hired more managers at a losing company. First of all, we're going to clean it up. How many people do we really need? What are they being compensated? When they're making 200,000 or more, okay, we need to take care of the soldiers, the ones that are actually fighting for these kids, okay? Ask the treasurer, let me ask you, is there mismanagement or fraud in education? He says, I can't begin to tell you. And I said, but you were the treasurer. Why didn't you ever do an audit? He says, Ducey didn't want it. Absolutely not. Why? Why don't they want to know? They don't want to know. You know why? Because if there's mismanagement of $2 billion, or we have to say, hey, you know what, it's excessive spending, how is the leader going to look? That's what I believe. Why does someone not want to do an audit on the funding we're giving, right?
God from Phoenix is asking the audience question, as a Catholic governor, what happens with women in your state that are using abortion for unwanted pregnancy and leave the state for abortions? Will you allow your attorney general to pursue prosecution?
You know, that's really a very difficult area to address. I'll tell you why, John. You know darn well, you know, I don't know if you're Catholic or you're Christian. For me, it's a personal thing from conception till death, okay? Brought up that way. We believe it, all right? We need to, first of all, you cannot enforce, if someone doesn't have a conscience, has had multiple and treats it like a birth control, how are you going to control an individual? You can't. You can't. They're going to figure out how to do it, how to get it, where to go. What are we going to arrest all of them? But then we take care of them in prison? What, you know what? We've got to educate, starting with our education. I believe there should be an empowerment class to teach the kids about life. What happens if you got pregnant? What happens if this? What choices are you going to make? All right. I believe this. When someone chooses to have an abortion, they don't realize at the moment how they're going to feel. They're going to realize that they just killed part of themselves, and they carry that throughout their lives. And some people will say, well, the government approves it. We want the government to say it's okay. Okay, you want the government to be your conscience, your God. It's not going to happen. You know, how do you change? How would you say attorney general go after everyone that's going to decide? You know, we have to educate people. We have to figure, hey, it's not birth control, okay? And that's my personal feeling. And I think there's a lot of women that feel like that, a lot of people, a lot of men, all right? But how do you control someone? It's like someone wanting to do harm. If they're going to want to do harm, they're going to do it.
So Paola,
Okay.
let me just interject here. So, you know, I'm a Catholic and I went to Catholic school, as
Yes.
did you. So with that said, it was a great education.
You were Jewish?
No, I'm
What did you?
Catholic.
Oh, okay.
I'm Italian.
Yes, that's what I
I do
thought.
get
Okay.
Jewish sometimes, though. When I was in Boca Raton in college, which is a big Jewish area, I got Jewish a lot, and sometimes I just rolled with it because I was down
Well, yeah,
there. But whatever. But yeah, no, as a person that's Italian too and a Catholic and was raised as a Catholic, my question was, you know, if you go to Catholic school, you're taught all these things.
that's right.
But when you're in public school, some schools have sex education, some schools do not. The question is, and you just brought up of how we need to help these kids to learn that this is not birth control. How do we do this? What age should it happen? Should it happen in the schools? Because a lot of these
Well,
parents, you know, they're not
well,
doing
I
it
don't
either.
think sex education should be in the school. I think it's the
Okay.
parents. But you do discuss,
But
you
what
know,
about
how
these parents, though, that are like drug addicts and they just don't give a damn about their kids in plain English? There are those people out there, let's be
well,
honest.
I don't think you go in depth like they're doing now in some of our schools about sex education. I
Yeah,
think you need to talk about, you know, how life is created. Okay, we went to Catholic school.
right.
We obviously we were taught to what our heart, our conscience was. I mean, but when people reject their conscience, that's what happens. I think education is a key thing. Look how much we have lost in our education, standing up for the flag, you know, respecting your teacher, even yourselves. That's why I say, and I call it an empowerment class, a life class. And it's got to be a teacher that's somewhat of a therapist, a counselor that motivates, that talks about life issues. Where are they going to go? Are you so worried about, we tell kids you got to go to college. No, you don't have, you know what I always say to kids? I met someone and said, well, I like to work with machinery. And they says, oh, like it's not good enough. I said, let me tell you, I don't care what you do. You take a step, you survive, you make your own money. Don't go to your parents. You take a step at a time. That gives you the confidence, because everywhere you go, you're going to learn something. And he said, oh my God, thank you, thank you. I said, I don't care if you work at McDonald's, a machine shop, as an apprentice, cleaning up, whatever. I said, one day, if you like machinery, you're going to have your own business. You're going to have 2, 3 businesses, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we have plumbers, electricians. These
we
are
don't
jobs
keep-
that make good money.
That's right. And vocational's got to get back. We've got to have kids work with their hands, because when there's a study, when you work with your hands, you become more creative. You can create solutions better in your life. But when you go docile and you're just on the computer, on your phone, get the kids to work, and tell them that it's okay, whatever job, everything you learn from every place you go. And there's bad examples also. And you say, hey, I'm never going to be that type of boss. But then you hit on a boss that's great. You're going to learn from that as a mentor. So we have to teach kids lessons like that in school. Abstinence, protect yourself, respect yourself. This is the consequences, okay? And you know what? Let's say it happens. There's support. Don't make a decision at the moment and you think that child's going to hold you back. You know what? That child may bring you forward in life. We've got to empower the children.
My opinion on abortion is rape, incest, and the life of the mother, but I'm against any other thing to do with abortion. I'm pro-life. My question is, what is your stance? Are you the same as that, or are you different, or?
Well, you know what? Again, it comes back to personal. I can't judge someone. I will never judge someone, whatever their situation is. I believe even with rape, if you see even children that were, their mother were rape victims, they've grown up to be successful human beings. They thrive. Okay. Again, you cannot control. I could tell you what I believe.
But hold on, and just to push back, what about the kid that was, this was in Ohio. I'm sure you heard about it. The girl that was raped at 10 years old. We can't, that's
no,
not.
Again, that is a personal decision. 10-year-old to give birth. She's a baby.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I don't need, again, if personally, it's a decision that the family has to make, and we cannot enforce something like that. We shouldn't be dictating to people that have serious situations.
We are seeing a lot of controversial court cases decided by the Supreme Court that are challenging the social fabric of America. Excuse me. And then it says, are you for or against education segregation because it is already happening in urban schools around the country, in Los Angeles, in New York, and in Chicago? What is your position on that?
Okay, I know that's happened a lot, I guess, in Illinois and places like that. I don't believe we have them. I've not heard of it in Arizona. We have the new bill that was passed of charter schools. Okay, kids can take, they call it scholarship or vouchers, and they can go wherever they want. Obviously, they can't be bused. There aren't bus services to everything, but if a parent wants to drive them, they can do so. Do I believe that that's necessary to, to create diversity? Is that the point, or getting them to a better school? Ari, would you know?
I'm honestly, this is all I have. So
yeah,
so I
really.
guess we'll
Okay,
either skip that or.
No, let me tell you what they're trying to do also. Diversity, they want to integrate. Well, you know what? You can't create diversity. You cannot force diversity. You and I are going to have a friendship because maybe we have something in common politically, sure. Work-wise. Your son is going to go with my grandson, and when they're in sports together, all of a sudden we connect. When you connect on something, That's how you create diversity. You cannot force diversity. Do you agree?
No, I agree. You can't do
You
that.
can't, and that's
as a
what they're
person
trying to do, the states. Let's bring the Black children and bring them into the white school. No, let's make that Black population of that school better. And they're not doing that. Illinois does not have a good school system, and it is very separated because of your location. So depending on your neighborhood, you may not have as good of teachers. Okay, you may not have better curriculum or activities. We're going to make those schools better, busing them to try to make a diverse population. It's crazy. All right, it's nuts. Doesn't work. It does not work. And you don't need to bus the kids an hour and a half sometimes to bring them to another school, or 30 minutes, whatever. Why? What we're doing is ignoring the problem. And those schools are funded. Monies are invested in these schools.
Yeah, no, I agree. I want to move on to this next question. This is from John from Mesa, Arizona. So we're going to go into this again, another Supreme Court question. So John, again, from Mesa, Arizona, wants to know, he's saying that Ted Cruz came out and discussed on OAN about overturning gay marriage. This is something that will probably go to the Supreme Court down the road. As Arizona governor, what is your stance on that? Would you lobby for or against it? And if the bill was given to you by the legislature, would you veto it or approve it? I know that's like 3 questions in one, but I'll give them.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you know what? A lot of states have approved gay marriages. And I think, I don't like to see the gays are always rising up. Your sexual preference is personal, right? I don't discuss what you don't discuss what, hey, you know what? Let's keep it to ourselves. This marriage, I guess marriage is between a man and a woman. It always has been. But all this science that's coming out, that they were born that way, their chromosomes are not, one has a female chromosome, one. I don't know enough about it, and I don't know if I would approve it. And what's the benefit of marriage? Why not have benefits if you're partners but not in marriage? Why can't they create something, if you have a partner and you're filing your taxes, that you would have the same benefits?
So more of a civil union you're talking about, civil unions.
Yeah, something like that, because, again, you're Catholic, I'm Catholic. Do we believe that, do we believe in a gay marriage?
Yeah, I'm more
first Obama came out. It's between.
I'm a live and let live guy.
Live and let live?
Yeah, some of a libertarian kind of, way is for thinking, I guess, as far as that stuff goes. I'm personally, I like women, but as far as that, but as far as that goes, I mean, that's me.
Look, we cannot continue having a fight about it in our country.
Yeah.
We can't continue on these issues over and over. Yeah, so in a way, when you're saying live and let live, I mean, I believe in a union. I don't know if that's a compromise that they would accept or fight. Otherwise, we've got to move on. You cannot just be always on these issues that are not doing anything for our country, not even doing anything benefit for them. If you made a proposal and said, can you work in what is the purpose of having a marriage? I'd like to find out from some of these gay couples. Initially was to have the benefits that a married couple would have. Can a union work? I don't know. Right. I think I'd have to ask some questions of some people that are wanting this. What benefit do they have? Do they want? Maybe it is just a financial thing again.
So this question is from Anonymous in Vero Beach, Florida, talking about transgenders. And with that, they're asking the question, what is your position on transgenders in women's sports? Should they be allowed to play sports with other women? My personal opinion is I don't believe in that. I think if they want to have their own league, I'm totally okay with that. But
exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't think we
Start
should
your
have.
own league, transgender league. Physically, they're built like men. You
Right.
cannot compete, especially in a sport. You know, if you're doing a mental sport, that's different, okay? You know, a chess game or whatever. But you're talking about a physical game. It's absurd.
Right.
No, they cannot be in women's sports, period.
As governor, obviously, this is something that's going on in the high schools in Arizona, but all over the country right now, where there are transgendered people that want to play in, men's and women's leagues. This is going on in the high schools and the grammar schools. As governor, would you put a law in place to try to ban this? So, we don't
Yeah,
have
I
to
would.
talk.
I would ban it because
Yeah.
it's not even common sense. Okay, we want to give people their rights, but that's not a way to take your rights. Like you said, start a separate league.
Mhm.
Okay? I'm sorry. You cannot compete. You can't win because you're the man physically
Right.
and you're going to compete with 12 women or whatever, and they don't have the ability to win.
We actually have seen this in the college atmosphere too, with Leah Thomas from University of Pennsylvania, that used to be a man and now she is transferred into being a woman. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but we'll go with that for this program. And I apologize if I'm wrong on that. But with that said, it's happening everywhere, and I think it's something that's going to be a
Well,
problem in our
I
country.
think I think too, this has exploded. All right. Let's keep it at a personal level. Your family, whatever you want to address, transgender, you're going to go to a doctor, evaluate you. And I do believe
But what
some
about kids though? Because we go into the kids. Should parents be informed about these issues if teachers are hearing about this in the school? This is what happened with the gay bill that was discussed in Florida, which I'm sure you've heard about if you were watching the news with Governor DeSantis, that if there was talk about these issues, whether it's transgender issues, whether it was
I don't think it should be discussed in schools. I'm
yeah.
sorry. No, it's a personal issue. The parents, if they want to
Should
consult,
the teacher though tell the parents about these issues or no?
like what, if something is happening in the classroom or what?
If the kid is having feelings that maybe were born as a boy and they're feeling like maybe they should be a girl, or if they were a
Well,
girl, or maybe.
I think the counselor should probably contact the parents, and usually the parents are probably aware. They don't know what steps to take. And I think
Uh-huh.
it should follow up with a counselor separately, you know?
We
And
do have to worry about with these issues though, if there could be a parental abuse due to the parents knowing about these issues, because we have seen this in the past that the parents find out, they beat the crap out of the kid, and then there's some child abuse going on, and it could lead into
well,
some
I think
issues.
that needs to, we need to take better care of our kids.
Yeah.
Counselors have to be aware, okay? If there is abuse, there's probably abuse anyway, okay? It isn't because if you love your child and, your child has these feelings, and you're not going to beat the hell out of your kid. You're going to beat your kid anyway because you're beating your kid. Abuse exists. It isn't, it's like one more thing they want to be angry about. And I think there's problems already in that family. It isn't just because of that.
I want to go to the final question as far as your closing statement. You obviously are running against all these people. We watched the debate. As far as there's quite a few people that, obviously are listening to this program that watched the debate because they've inserted questions to you. I watched the debate. It was kind of a joke as far as the moderator had zero control over the debate. It was just a screaming match between two women up on stage. Besides the point of that, why do you feel like you're the best candidate for the job of governor of the state of Arizona, as your closing statement and as we end the interview?
Well, first of all, I'm a business person, worked all my life, and I've succeeded at everything. I became number one at everything I attempted to do. I believe I'm ready to serve the people of Arizona. Arizona was good for me. And I look at what corruption there is, and I look with the lack of ability that some of these people have. They're pretenders. You know, you can have a lawyer running for it. I've never met a lawyer that was how would you say, a strong business person that would know how to sort things out and come up with solutions. Okay. And then you have a celebrity. It's almost endorsements from politicians, and who knows them? What do they know? You're saying, I know you, I'm going to endorse you. Is that what we want as our state? No, we need a worker. We need someone that can make the changes that we need to make and really get us the results. First of all, I have the business acumen. I know financials, I know systems, organization, and I'm a very good negotiator. You know, in my business, La Dolce Vita, I took away a big percentage from a big company, Costco, nationally. It became national and international. I took away Starbucks from a big company. So I go after what my business needs. And you know what? I'm going to go after what Arizona needs, because it is for the people. And finally, with me, the people are going to have a voice. They're going to know that I represent them. No politician. I have no strings attached. I owe no one. So it's time. It's time. And they say they want change. I'm the right change. And you know what, Arizona? It's a new day. And when I win, Arizona's going to win. Believe me.
So as we close, where can people find more about you? Tell us the website, donations, volunteering opportunities. How can they get in touch with you?
Well, we need an upset. You need to believe and do the right thing. Don't look at the polls, because they sent me polls and I wasn't even on there. Okay, so how? They have locked me in the basement, but you know what? I kicked that door and here I am. And people have to see what is real. And they have to see that someone wants to work for them. And my website is zforarizona.com, Z-F-O-R, Arizona.com. And contact me. Any more questions, please reach out to me. And it's a new day, and we've got to make the changes like you said. You know, we cannot have the past come back. Arizona, we need new blood. And we need someone that knows how to work.
I mean, we didn't even touch on a lot of issues with the border and immigration, and hopefully we can do this again, because that's another important issue. And we're seeing people, and I know we only have about 3 minutes left, but if you want to leave the audience and just tell them the real deal in 3 minutes of what's really going on with the border, because it really is out of control.
Well, you know, people, everybody was angry. And I think early on, I had to discover what was the Constitution. Was saying, why can't the sheriffs do more? And I've had a good relationship with some of the sheriffs at the border, and I talk with them almost every week. Well, you know, we say, we have to finish the wall. Well, 20 miles of that wall is Indian reservation, and they're not willing to give it up. Now they're looking to build another 10-foot wall with high technology, underground and overhead. Okay? But here's the big problem. We have a right to arrest. Federal government has the right to deport. So obviously with Biden and our state and even Texas, there's not going to be a coordination of how to handle this. And what do we do if we arrest 100,000 people, right? Where do we put them? What do we do? How do we feed them? How do we care for the children? Right? We don't have a right to deport. What I would do as governor, I would negotiate. I would as a governor of Arizona, I want to do something with the leaders of Mexico. They've got to get their army like they had before when there was Trump, their southern border. They've got to work with us. Otherwise, there's going to be penalty coming through Arizona. Their trucks, there's going to be penalty when they want to come in with their corporate trucks or whatever they want to bring to us. The other thing, the big thing, I would align with other governors, and I think DeSantis, but Abbott, Oklahoma, South Carolina, North Dakota, South Dakota, they would come on board. But you need leadership. I would be on the phone every day. I said, we've got to push. Let's write the bill for Congress. Let's present a bill that comes from our state, because they're not doing it. And we want that door shut, okay? We don't have the ability to house 100,000 people or more. So as governor, I would fight like hell, all right? And you can't shoot these people. Like some people are so angry, well, let's shoot them, let's get the militia. Okay, first of all, the cartels will shoot back and they're more military than you are. They're gonna have a bloodbath. But here's the other thing. We've created this inhumane invasion, whatever, immigration, illegal immigration. The federal government administration has created this. They've allowed this. They've allowed the cartels to build these caravans because these poor people are marketed through the radio saying, hey, we've got a job for you. Just call this number. Or they kidnap the kids. They go to the house and say, look, we've got a great house for this kid. Look at the playground. Bring them a doll, bring them a truck. The 12-year-old, 10-year-old goes with them. They go with this other man that says he's an uncle. And you know what? Our administration doesn't even provide a DNA test at the border. And then another thing, we have COVID. When all these people come in, tell me we have COVID. Huh? The stupidity. The things are just stupid. Okay, we don't have the common sense of way of handling this.
And they're giving them cell phones and they're giving them all kinds of things, and it's just
taxpayers are paying for it. That's right. You know, when people land at our border, what rights do we have? Okay, let's put them on a bus and send them to California.
Right.
We're still keeping them in our country. When the governors
they're not just sending them to California, they're sending them to New York, they're sending them to Florida, they're sending them all over the place.
Yeah. So when people say,
what does that do? I don't know.
Even DeSantis, I sent them to Washington. You're making a statement and you're saying to people, see, we did this. The angry people are saying, great, look what we got them out of our state. That's not the point. They're still in our country. They're still part of our tax-paying dollars, okay? We've got to handle this the smart way. And we need someone, that's me, that can negotiate, that can fight like hell, go to Washington, sit down. We are closing that door. You know what I said? Even if we gave these people a ticket with a plane ticket to go back, with a little extra money, it would cost us less than providing for them here. Because at the end, it's going to cost us over $100 billion.
The last question, I promise I'll let you go after that. There's a lot of people that are in this country illegally. They're in your state, they're in my state, but they're all over the country. What do we do with these people? We can't deport them all. Anybody that says that is in a dream world. You
know what? We have a workforce problem now. Yeah. You want to deport people? You know, when we came from Italy, you're Italian, you understand, in 1960, whatever. Who built Chicago? Who built New York, San Francisco? The Italians. We did the sewers, we did the buildings, okay? We did whatever was necessary, right? We were the workforce. We were discriminated. Today, who's our workforce? Who knows how to construction? Who knows how to do the roofs? Who knows how to do to cook? You know what? It's the Hispanic population. And you know what? If they've been here so many years, can they get a sponsor? Enough with this DACA, which is BS. 2 years, they've got to keep renewing. You've got kids, I know that have been on it for 12 years now. They keep renewing. People have built their businesses already. They have DACA. Get rid of it. Give them a pathway to legal immigration. But we have to take these people. Someone says, oh, you're for amnesty. Tell me what the solution would be when we possibly have over 20 million people. What is the solution?
Well, those people would be paying tax dollars to the government. So why, right. And they're not now.
Well, here's the other thing. You've got to create a fair wage because some of these people are not paid a fair wage or they're going to agencies and 35% is taken. You've got a very complex system that they've created now. And everybody, you know, it's a dirty secret, but some people are making more money, whether you're the employer or whether you're an agency. And these people are living in $450 a week. If these people, and I talked to corporations, I said, you know what? Many corporations, we have a supply chain problem, food, manufacturing of tissue paper, or manufacturing of anything that we have. They don't have the workforce. They're down 30 to 35%. I've talked to companies that have 1,000 employees, 500 employees. And I said, let me ask you, Governor of Arizona, What if I create a work permit for 1 year? They fill out an application. Have they done construction? Have they worked in manufacturing? Have they worked in slaughterhouses? Okay, you put them in those positions. And I said, you as an employer, would you sponsor them for 3 years? And those 3 years, they would have an opportunity to do their documentation and do proper immigration. You know what they all said to me? There wasn't one that rejected the idea that says, we do it in a heartbeat. Yes, do it. As governor of Arizona, that's what I would do. Because you know what? We're struggling getting product out. I don't know how it is in Florida.
It's about the same. You go into the grocery store and there's half of the shelves are empty, and it's really pretty bad. But go ahead.
Our manufacturing, who's good? You know, when they say also, you're taking jobs away from our kids, we haven't groomed our kids to take a first position in manufacturing, right?
And a lot of
Now-
these kids are not able to do the construction jobs and the plumbing jobs. And partially that's our fault because we haven't invested in these schools, the vocational schools. You spoke
That's
about
right.
that earlier.
We
So-
need at least 4 or 5 years to groom these kids, and starts early in high schools, middle school to high school, and then get them apprentice jobs, okay?
Right.
By the time they're 22, they may be, you know, wanting to do that job. But
They might
we
be
have to-
making good money. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to recognize who our workforce is. Don't be stupid. And we are stupid as a government. But as a state, I want to help the businesses. I've had businesses call me, what are you going to do for businesses? We can't get labor. I said, what do you think of this idea? We love it. Do it. Well, hopefully God leads me to this position.
And then can you just give the website just one more time?
Yes, please go to zforarizona.com. ZFOR Arizona.com.
Paola, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate that. I hope we can do this again down the road. And hopefully you'll be past the primary in August 2nd. Definitely go out and vote if you are in Arizona August 2nd. Democratic primary, Republican primary, whatever it is, just go out and vote. But if you are a Republican voting in Arizona, definitely check out Paola, zforarizona.com. Check out the website, learn more about her. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank
Hope to
you.
talk again soon.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.